friends, I'm Tina Weller, the Serene Stamper, and look what I'm going to show you how to make today. This is really fun and super easy to make, and it's good for kids of all ages, from young to old, because it's just so relaxing to make, and they make wonderful gifts. So this is just a plain mug and Sharpies, and for this one I used rubber stamps. And this one was my first one that I made, and all I did is I filled it with my favorite quotes about creativity, and then I colored it in. As you can tell, lots of color. I love color. And then I added little hearts and flowers. And then this one is a little more intricate with the stamps that I used. So I just stamped them, colored in with my Sharpies. Then once you finish creating your project, you're going to bake it, and I'll have all those instructions for you as well. And you can even stamp on wine glasses. How cool is that? So you can customize your wine glass for whoever you want to make a gift for, whether it be a bride and groom or bridesmaids, or somebody's having a birthday and you want to tuck it in with their favorite bottle of wine. You can just do all kinds of things. Possibilities are endless, especially when you have your rubber stamps. So let me show you how easy it is to make this. So for this cup, what I did is I used the So Very Grateful stamp set. So I'll go ahead and use that one again for this video. Now, one of my friends had a great idea to put painter's tape around the edge where your lips would go when you're drinking this. So I'm just lining it up with the tip of the mug. Next, I have my Stays On ink, and then my So Very Grateful stamp set. So this is new in our 2014 Everyday Celebrate the Everyday Occasions catalog. And we're going to use this stamp, and I'm going to ink it up. Now I find when you're working with something that's rounded, it's easier to keep your stamp flat on the surface and then roll your object on top of that, as opposed to going across like that. It could be a little bit tricky. And don't worry if you make a mistake, because we have found that rubbing alcohol will remove any mistakes that we make. So I'm just going to set that there. I'm just going to roll it on and hope for the best. Ta-da! So where it didn't cover down here, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to put a word there so it'll kind of look like that was supposed to happen. So now I'm going to grab my Sharpie markers. I'm going to start with yellow. So this is already dry. And when I put my color on, I try not to touch the black ink, because it will pull into the flower, will pull into your image. So try to avoid touching that black. This is just incredibly relaxing. I really enjoy making these. Something else to stamp on. Hee hee. Gotta love that. I remember when I first started stamping, I used to say you could stamp anything that doesn't walk, and then Stampin' Up! Came out with tattoo stamps. So that was kind of funny. We don't carry them anymore, but you really can pretty much stamp anything. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of orange onto my flower. Alright, so there's my rose. Now I'm going to add some pink for these flowers here. And again, I'm kind of avoiding the center because there's a lot of black ink there and I don't want it to bleed with my marker. Remember, if you make a mistake, just wipe it off with some rubbing alcohol and paper towel and start over. Okay. Next, we're gonna go with some purple on the inside of my flower. I don't know if the camera can really show how pretty these are, but they're really pretty. I really like these a lot. So I'm just going to go around with a darker pink on my flower now. I like the two tones on my flower, and it's just another way to get more color onto the project. And I can't draw whatsoever, which is why stamps are so brilliant. Okay. Some red because these flowers look like little hearts. Okay, now we're going to move on to a green. So now we're going to go with the darker green, and again I'm going to add some darker color onto my leaves. So they're not white anymore. So there's my flower done. Pretty, pretty. And I'm going to add a word across here. So I'll show you how I do that. The word I'm going to use is Bliss, and it's from our new Quite the Pair stamp set. And again, I'm going to ink it up with my Stays On. Alright, so there's my Bliss. And now I'm going to continue filling in my mug. So I've got my handle done, and I've just gone through to make that blue line a little bit thicker. And the Sharpie marker is dry. It dries pretty quick. And now we're just going to peel away the tape. And there you have it. Isn't that pretty? So the only difference with these two is I switched the colors of my flowers and I went with the darker blue. But aren't they pretty? And just to show you again, here is the wine glass, and here is the first mug that I did. So I hope you enjoyed that, my friends. Thanks for watching, and happy stamping.
Hey, if you wanna play, make it a better place. It'll take creation, imagination.